And by the way, I see your message there, Delson. Warren, also by saying, my uncle got me into Persona, and he told me after I saw Nanako, sorry, I didn't warn. Sorry, I didn't warn you. Delson, this may sound weird, but Delson, I'm actually glad you didn't warn me, because then I would be preparing. Experiencing this game unprepared, it heightened the level of what I went through. It sounds weird, but I actually kind of like my emotions heightened, because that means it goes above and beyond what any other game could do. And I hope you hear me loud and clear, so that way you remember this. So Delson, I am speaking to you. I almost kind of wish I had a face cam, so that way I can... Right now I'm just staring at your name in the last message that you posted, but having my emotions heightened, it makes me remember the moment. It makes me remember everything that kind of happens, although I will admit I don't know everything that I said at the start of that dungeon. But it heightens everything, and I love that feeling of just going through unaware. I don't care if it's a slap in the face to where I feel like I don't want to get up. I don't care if it's a moment to where I just want to curl up into a ball and cry. Part of me did want to do that, just curl up into a ball. But what I saw in Nanako was essentially a legit sister that I felt... Think of it like this. I am not close to a lot of my family members. I think because of that, family to me means so much to me. And my family is kind of broken a little bit. We don't talk to each other. There's some family members I kind of feel like I only met 3 times that to where I could remember them. And I'm saying this because I think at some point someone's going to be able to put 2 and 2 together if they start thinking. Because Josh, I know, has seen me in a moment in Yakuza 0. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this up. So if you guys don't want to hear any spoilers about Yakuza 0, there's a sub-story that involves a father that he surgically changed his face, and his son, who goes to this park to just kind of play around, be a kid, you know, that innocence that I want every kid to have, that innocence, to be able to enjoy life, to have a normal one. And I'm once again, I'm tearing up. And if the tears come, so be it. I'm gonna go ahead and just take my glasses off. I'm gonna try and read chat the best I can. So, but I do want to read. I think I owe it to Delson to read his comment. He told me that after I saw that, I know, right? But I do need to be careful here because this is a little bit getting too close to home, and. There's a moment in Yakuza 0 to where a guy surgically removes his face because he made some deals with the Yakuza that is targeting his family. He doesn't want the Yakuza to know about his wife, to know about his son. And he goes to this park. To his family, he's a stranger. They don't know who he is because he surgically changed his face. And there's a moment to where he doesn't, he knows that he loves his family, and I think any father that goes through it, they don't want to see their kids get hurt. So obviously he wants to watch over his family without being physically by their side. And that moment always hit me so much, because kind of what that father was going through was kind of like how I felt with Nanako to a degree. And with going back to Yakuza, so he surgically surgically altered his face so his family doesn't recognize him, but the mob knows him, and they notice that this guy is near this family a lot. He's looking over them, so obviously there becomes an altercation. Your character that you're playing as, his name is Majima. This is Yakuza 0, by the way. And he basically... Majima, to a degree, God bless his heart for, the game character. He, by the way, I'm not a religious person, but I feel like there's things of religion that you can find common ground, and I think with those words you guys understand what I mean. And so Majima, he tries to be a good person, and he wants to he knows the father wants to be with his son. So there's a moment to where, like, the kid throws a ball, and Majima picks up the ball. The guy comes running over frantically almost. Hey, can I throw that ball? Can you give me the ball? And of course, at first, your first reaction is probably what's up with this guy? Why is he so close to this family? And because normally, if it is your father or something, like, the kid will be like, oh, hi, Dad. That kid wasn't like that. So obviously, that kid, you see that reaction, and it's like, well, what's going on here? And then, of course, that's when you learn the story, and then he wants to try and he wants the father to basically has a nice farewell. And this moment always hit me home, because it's just the idea of, like, a parent who loves their children does not want to do them any harm, and it just happens. And so, kind of like a final farewell. Needless to say, the mob gets involved. There's an altercation. You kind of, like, beat the crap out of the mob, and so the Yakuza go running scared. And then eventually, the kid in the story started sensing something. Started noticing something. There's this sweet little gesture. I'm actually getting a little choked up now. This is actually where my voice is actually kind of breaking a little bit, and I do apologize. The kid then notices something, and I think he even says, wait, question mark. Picks up a ball, throws it in the guy's direction who surgically repaired his face. And he says to throw, and I have the ball back. That moment, to me, is, like, so special. I always love that. And it's kind of like that gesture of, like, I don't know if I'll ever see my son again, but I'm gonna love this moment. And there's the tears. And I love that so much. Because my family is broken, I don't always... There's people in my... There's cousins I haven't seen. There's people, this and that. So I kind of feel emotionally attached to Whew. I kind of feel emotionally attached to when family gets involved because, and I feel a stronger connection when it comes to kids because I feel like I had like a pretty horrible life. I'm gonna actually restrain myself to using strong language, vulgarity, that sort of thing. Um, but let's just say I did not have a perfect life. Um, and because my family is so disoriented and we have our kind of like our own problems, our own issues, by the end of the day, I I think I could safely say I'm like, I'm a little bit of a mama's boy. I love my mom dearly. I know she looks after me for the best part, whether I want it or not. But yeah. So basically, whatever emotions I have with me and my family, I have to admit it just bleeds through during these cutscenes and these moments when I play games. And I never just had them so heightened. By the way, Delson, I see a couple of messages I didn't read, and I kind of feel like I need to read those, obviously before I end the stream. And so again, Delson, thank you so much. So, anyway, so even though that my family's broken, I feel like maybe there's something I could do, like game wise. I mean, I can't repair. I feel like there's things that I can't repair in my own family, but maybe I could repair in others. It sounds weird, but it's the way it is. So, things about scenes with families, scenes with kids, it kind of hits home because I know I didn't have a perfect life, and whenever I see someone younger than me, whether they're a teenager, whether they're 10 years old, I feel if I do anything besides being Big Brother, I'm not only a terrible human being if I don't do that, but I feel it's a disservice to just showing common people love and respect. Because love could be one of two things. Obviously, there's the sexual side, but there's also a big brother, a big sister, a little sister, your family. That's another kind of type of love. There's love between friends, just friends. There is that kind of type of love. Maybe the term like is more resemblant, but to say you like something and to say you love something, I feel have stronger meanings. And for me, that's why I normally don't, in my day to day, I don't normally say I love people. I probably only said I love you to my mom only a few times, and yet how many times have I said, Delson, thank you. I love you, man. That's, whew. It's definitely something. So, yeah. And it's because of that, it's like, I feel like that kind of type of bond you can have with another human being. It doesn't always have to be. I mean, I know some people, they think love, oh, it's the sexual side. There's two types of love. Remember that. I know the difference. And I would never try and break that ever. If I do I really want to live in this world? If I break that? I'm basically just trying to let some of my emotions out, but also at the same time, it's kind of. take it easy, you know? Because I'm tearing up, I'm going to try and read some of Delson's messages. And again, thank you, Delson, for hanging out with me. I do appreciate that. I don't see my mom's side of the family. I want to say something, but I'm just going to pass. I do want to say something, but I'm going to pass. And I see what you mean. I don't see my mom's side anymore after my aunt. DPS on my mom, my sister's kids. I haven't seen my sister's kids since 2017. I haven't seen members of my family since... God. I don't know. 2012. I know there was some members I haven't seen since 2012. There's been an incident that happened. My mom wanted me and kind of herself to see members of the family. Not as like a last goodbye or anything like that, but just things just kind of happened and we just kind of had to see family. We had to. There was a moment that kind of struck a chord to everybody. There are some people to this day that can't get out of bed, and that was all the way back in 2012. So, yeah. Hard to think, it's actually almost been 10 years now that I think about it, because if that was in 2012, we're in 2020, and it's almost been a full decade, and some of those scars have not healed. But it is what it is. I haven't seen my sister's kids since 2017, and my little niece doesn't know me as her uncle, so she's called me Mr. my name and hurt when she says that. Haven't been having nightmares about me having a daughter and me looking at her, and I see my aunt kill my daughter right in front of me. And I woke crying, heart racing. I don't know how to feel. Some of us have dark sides that we don't want to think about. It's just life. I remember a friend of mine who I met online, kind of like most of you. You may see him. He usually goes by Dead. He changes his name a couple of times, and Dead, I don't want to go into too much detail, mainly because, I mean, he's kind of like most of you, and I would keep most of that secret. Well, not so much secret, more so of like, do I want to share that with you guys? Because this is basically like a permanent recording. And there's definitely one moment I could at least share. How do you forget? And so many times me and him just hung out and just talk, play games together. We play games to forget about our day-to-day. We do. So many of us do. It's part of the reason why I stream. I have my own demons. Luckily, they're not really bad. But, yeah. I probably have my own demons just like the rest of you. And normally when I'm like greeted with a friend, and we usually just kind of smile at each other. Probably give like small talk, hey, how you doing? And we just, play games. By the way, Andy, I see your messages. I'm gonna read it out. And when he told me, hey, how do you forget? It was such a weight. I was on the spot. I didn't anticipate it, and I've been thinking about that moment ever since. I've been thinking about that moment because, honestly, that's the reason why people turn to drugs and alcohol, is because there's certain moments that he never told me what it was. So even if I did tell you, I can't tell you. I don't know what it was. But it's just that idea. How do I forget? I could safely say I don't think I had a moment I can't forget, or that I want to forget. I guess what I should be saying. There's never been a moment I don't want to that I don't want to ever remember ever again. And how do you forget? More so of, I think if this happened again, I want to do this. If I could turn back time and like redo something, reload a save essentially in my life, there's certain things I want to do differently. There's been people that impacted my life. Sometimes it was behind a TV screen. Other times I met and talked to people who are no longer here. And when that happens, the moment that I'm specifically talking about in 2012 hit me so hard like a truck. Ever since then, I sense... Let's put it this way. If Andy were to... by the way, I should probably go ahead and read this message, because I would hate to, like, say, hey, I'm going to use Andy as a reference, so I think I owe it to him that I should read this message before going any further. Long story short, I lost my mom to cancer. That sucks, dude. I feel you. In 2013, and to live with just my pop and 2 younger brothers, I know that feel. She discovered her cancer in 2008 and had surgery. Feels better than 4 years ago after the tumor cell got cracked back. Andy, good vibes to you, my bro. Good vibes to you. Because I could safely say I at least still have my mom here on this earth with me, but can only imagine. But anyway, Andy, I'm gonna use you as a example. Just kind of go with it, wherever it is I say. I don't mean anything by it, but it's metaphorical to a degree. To be fair, I actually kind of forgot what I was gonna say, so maybe to some degree I probably should have just gone ahead and said what I was gonna say. Yeah, there we go. Actually, that's a bad example because he just told me that his mom passed away. So that might be wrong. Okay, well, you know what? Since I don't think he's here, I'm just gonna use Dead as an example. There's someone I know by the name of Dead. By the way, Dead, I do appreciate you, man. Wherever you are, I know you're going through the pandemic like the rest of us, so I hope everything's fine. But I'm gonna use Dead as an example. Like, if Dead were to tell me that, hey, my sister died, my mom died, my father died, someone died, it hit me hard like a truck. Before 2012, I would sit here and have no emotion. Legit. Before 2012, I would sit here with zero emotion, not give a shit, and I would probably say, man, that sucks, and just move on. After 2012, I think back to 2012 when it happened. So when I knew who I spoke with, I could safely say he was family. He's no longer here. And if I may have done something differently, if other people in my family may have done something differently, maybe they could have saw, could you say, light at the end of the tunnel? And every time when I hear somebody had someone pass away, basically I draw my emotions from 2012 and all those emotions come back. The hole that I was in back then comes out. I remember after 2012, I don't think there was like a day that went by that I didn't think about him. And then the one day to where I actually think I went a full day. I may have went a few days. I know for a fact I have not went since then. I know I have not went a month. I have yet to do a month. I may have done a week. But I have not been able to not think of them in a month. Every month, one day just creeps around to where I just have nothing to do. Stuff happens and it hits. Nothing I can do. Just gotta accept it. And then, at some point, I'm hoping, somewhere on down the road, other things are just gonna happen and I have more priorities, and therefore, because I'm too busy, well, you gotta think about your own life. What's done is done in the past. As much as you want to forget, it's there. You could try to forget, but you can't. The emotions is something else. And when that happens, there's just nothing you could do. You could turn to drugs and alcohol and try and forget, but honestly, it's a patch. That's just a small patch. It's just going to lead to other bugs. Other bugs that's just going to haunt you and eat you alive. And by going to drugs and alcohol, that's just going to lead a more hazard to your health. And one of many reasons why Motorhead is my favorite band of all time, there was somebody close to him that was lost. Multiple people, actually. I believe one was a girlfriend. I'm going to steal a quote from Lemmy Kilmister himself to a girlfriend he once referred to after his death, or after her death. She left a beautiful corpse. And when I think of that, the only thing I could suggest is time heals all wounds. Keeping your mind occupied is better than stopping and thinking about the past. The only thing you could do is just keep your mind occupied. To some degree, I would say probably focus on homework, but, I mean, let's face it, can you get enjoyment out of freaking homework? So, I know some people, they just hate school, but, you know, we kind of have to, so. To some degree, I want to say that, but to other extents, I try my best to, like, listen to music. I try my best to play video games. One of my strongest passions is pro wrestling, and that rarely pops up on stream. And I do know there are some people that are fans of wrestling in my channel. I believe I saw Andy say a thing or two about wrestling, and I don't know how everyone else is, but like with me, I'm like a diehard fan. I've been a fan since the 90s, and the passion was always there, but other things just kind of just happened, so. But my stronger, more emotional, because like, if all else fails, I could always just go to pro wrestling, right? I'm bored with video games. I want to go to music. I kind of want to watch something. Well, that's where pro wrestling comes in. So, that's how I keep my mind occupied. Is I turn to pro wrestling, I turn to gaming, I turn to music, combination of the two, or just keeping my mind, myself physically occupied. Because if I focus on something, I don't think about the wrongs that happened, whether it was me or not, what I could have done differently, all that stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, I've been missing. I've been missing. I need to end the stream because my brain is just slowly dying. But I think you guys get the picture, so I'm just gonna try my best to wrap things up here. But, whew. Okay, I think I read that comment. That one was about the daughter and the aunt by Delson. Yeah, long story short, yeah. I know what to do about those nightmares because I see them every single time I go to sleep. I usually visit my mom's grave yearly. 2012, I try to visit where it happened, but I haven't been honest to that. Just to give her updates and share some time memory, but this year I couldn't do it. Evil beats. Punch-Toes belt. Everything is evil. All I just know is we all have our own pain. For some reason, there is just something about human emotion that's changed for me since 2012. And to some degree, I feel like I'm cursed. To some degree, I feel like I'm cursed. But at the same time, I feel like there's going to be a moment in my life to where things are just going to overcome, and I could look back to all the bad that's happened, and I could find some good in it. For some reason, I started noticing that with music, there is something about music that has an overtone with despair. To where, essentially, you have nothing to lose. Songs that involve, basically, death, to me, I kind of feel like if death is the ultimate thing that could happen, when you take your last stand, how are you going to act? And because of that, I feel like giving it your all is the best way to do it. Good, bad, or somewhere in between, or some other random ass emotion, standing defiant and attacking it head on is the best way to do it. The only thing that you need to understand, are you strong enough to stand by yourself, or do you need others to help push you in that right direction? I think when push comes to shove, I am ready to take that defiant stand. Death fears me, and I fear death. But when push comes to shove, I'm going to push right through whatever hell hits me, and I'm going to try and fight to live. Because would those who impacted my life, would they really, if they had the choice, if they knew, like, my outcome in life, would they want me to be sad? Would they want me to be miserable? They will want me to attack. They will want me to persevere. They will want me to do good. And it's these emotions I kind of feel like if death is the ultimate end, then I am ready to face whatever hits me. Because if death is the ultimate, I could take on anything else. And for some reason, when it comes to songs of despair, I don't dwell on the despair part. I think about the hell that could come down upon you, and you could push through and do better. And it's that I focus on. It is that I think about. So even though that some people might think I'm like the kid at school that doodles skulls into like his like desk and stuff. Yeah, I've probably done that once or twice, but you know, it's just like one sketch and it probably wasn't even that good. But I purposely, by the way, I actually never really did that much. I may have done it one time, but I don't even know what grade I did it in. But I kind of feel like some people will see me and they would see like that disturbed kid that probably like tortures animals or something, which I don't. If anything, I feel the exact opposite. There was a time in my life to where I really loved animals. There was a time to where I actually had both a cat and a dog, and I loved them both dearly. And I was lazy as fuck, so I called them cat and dog. And you know what? I loved animals, but I also grew more of the reality that you're more hit with death, and do I really want that emotional attachment to animals and to have another animal again? I love that companionship, but I hate that emotional attachment, and then when they're no longer around, that's when it hurts. But I honestly do feel people think that I'm because like I focus on a lot of the songs I listen to is about death, about violence, about sex, and all this other stuff, and they think, oh yeah, you probably torture animals, you probably see messages, you probably scroll the freaking record backwards just that way you could hear like a hidden message. No. I don't focus on that. I focus on the redemption afterwards. Because if death is the ultimate end, I could persevere through anything. And that's what I feel. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but that's how I feel. So even though there's one song from Lita Ford called Hate, it tells the story of a disturbed kid who basically does one of the most despicable things that I even don't want to even mention, and the more and more I think about it, I'm probably gonna have that as Artist of the Week. There's a moment to where it just tells a story of a despicable story to where he basically takes violence on essentially the weak and innocent. And the story is about the shock of when you hear about it. There's multiple ways you could look at that. Do I see myself in the kid, or do I see myself in the person that is being shocked? I am the person that is more in the person of hearing the story and being shocked. But I love the song. I don't know why, but I love it. I love the beat. I love the rhythm. I love the fact that it's telling the story. And something about that strikes a chord with me. Yeah, it's about death, and yeah, it's about a despicable act, but I don't hold those acts to hold water, if that makes sense. I feel like I actually don't know what I feel about that particular song, but I do know I questioned it before because, again, because I feel like I'm the kid that you would think, oh, he tortures animals because he's listening to that devil's music. But there's just, for some reason, there's something about me, and I sometimes even kind of think to myself, for someone that fears death, why do I listen to so many songs to where it's all about death? And I started thinking, more recently, because after playing Yakuza, after playing the moment that we had today with Persona, I felt like if you see the ultimate end, what's there to lose? Stand your ground, hold the line, and push forward. And I think that's a good message that all of us could take away from all of this. By the way, I missed some other comments, so again, Delson, Andy, I thank you so much. Before I woke up from the nightmares, I'm holding my daughter dying, and she's telling me, "I love you, Daddy." And then I woke up crying. I felt like that way too. When my mom passed away, I let myself go for a few years, and then I'm trying to change in the past 2 years. My heart goes out to you, Andy, and Delson. I thank you guys so much. But I think that is something that we can take away from all of this. The idea that we can... It's okay to fear death. It's okay, but I think the best thing to do, and I feel like I need to be the person to try and do it. I need to be the strong one to try and help those that are lost and misguided, to try and help them go the right direction. Because what good comes out of death and destruction? Nothing. But to actually say to Andy, I feel you. I wish your mom was here. That is stronger. That's what your mom wants to hear. Does she want you to be sad? Be defiant, my friend. If your mom raised you well, you would stand, and I am crying with every inch of my soul right now. But I know it's what she wants. Don't think I don't know. Andy, I feel you. I really do. You have to be strong, my friend. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. We could be strong together. All of us. We have the power. Sometimes you just need someone to say it. You could love your fellow man. It is fine. Andy, this is why you don't owe me a dime. Andy, you don't owe me a dime. We are brothers over an internet connection. Does it sound weird? Yes. But we are friends. I care about you. And Delson. Don't think you're not out of this, Delson. You're with us. We may not know each other's names, but we know. We know where our heart is set. Our hearts are strong. We can be strong together, all of us. And if Josh were here, he would be standing side by side. I don't know how many people would ever hear this message to us, and by God, I don't care if even it's just the three of us. But God damn it, guys. Sometimes people need to say it. Stand, hold the line, and be strong and fight for whatever comes at you. Kind of much like how I did with Nanako, I'm almost having that same exact emotion right now. Tears are flowing, but I am standing even though I'm sitting. My heart and soul goes out to you guys. Kind of like when we saw Nanako. We stood together. We hold our grounds. Sometimes people need to stand and say what needs to be said. I am not a man to be remembered. I am not a man. I'm just a regular Joe. I am a regular Joe, and that's all I could do. And the only thing I can say is how much I truly thank you guys. I think this is a way stronger message. I feel like this is a way stronger message than what any money, what any currency could ever do. Can you seriously say that I sat in front of a computer screen and I found a new sense of look on life? You could love your fellow man. Again, there's two types of love, and this is love between brothers. You don't have to be related, but you could share the same feelings. 2012 is coming back full force, and I kind of feel like this is not Liv talking. This is not Joe Schmo. This is the person that I once knew, that Liv knew, that Joe Schmo knew. And they are speaking through me. Should I say the one that should be remembered? No. Because that doesn't change anything. I'm sure you could hear pin drops right now, and I'm probably ruining their moment. I feel like I should crack a joke, but screw it. I'm just going with gut hard feeling. If anyone hears this message, what you need to take away from this is just be strong for everybody. Being the one to be strong is better than the one to be weak. If you feel that one of your brothers, one of your sisters, whether related biologically or not, you can still stand with them in defiance. You could take on anything. That means more. The caring of another human being is what means more. Whew. Do you see, Andy? Every time when you gave me bits, this means more, bro. This means more. Delson, this means more. We are in this together. Again, I don't care if I see you guys ever again. Whatever happens from here on out, between us, we are family together. As long as somehow we get our words across, whether it be through text or you just need to hear that other person say it, it helps. And again, Andy, I do thank you. And every bit, when I see that message, thanks, bro. Thanks, Liv. Thanks, Liv, bro. It means the world to me, man. Thank you. When I say you don't owe me a dime, you don't owe me a dime. Obviously this is a moment that I think a lot of us is going to have it etched and burnt into our memories. Wherever we are, good or bad, you can love your fellow man. That's all that matters. Mankind will do better, will be more. Don't divide. It doesn't matter about race. It doesn't matter trans, whatever. This means more. And if you think you're weak, it's only because you don't have the person to have that strength to guide you. And again, Andy, and again, Delson. I know I kind of brought in Andy a little bit more than you, but again, when I say I thank you guys, do you see what I mean? I am shaking right now because this, I realize, is passionate. Because I am speaking from the soul. I don't even know how this is even happening. But sometimes it just needs to be said. I do know when this stream ends, there's going to be something else when you guys push on. Whatever you decide to career-wise, whatever you decide life-wise, just make sure you don't harm and hurt other individuals. That means you're just not that great. I think we could all understand what is right and wrong in the world, and I trust you guys that you see that. And I'm sure every single one of us all feel the exact same way. And that's what I want from you guys. Just fellowship, brotherhood. You don't have to be great at anything. There's other ways to get around. And again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And again, when we part ways from today and we move on, I am going to treat you guys like nothing else. I'm probably going to even pretend like this stream never even happened to some degree. This particular moment. But that is stronger, my friends. If someone else is going to see this when it gets uploaded to YouTube, you can either be an outsider looking in, or you can be the one to just simply say, I want to be strong, I want to be defiant. That's the only thing that matters. There's joys in life. Find it. There's ways to be happy. Do it. Just remember, don't hurt, don't harm anybody. Being that bigger brother, being that bigger sister means more than anything. And if more people have that, the world would be a better life for all of us. Because it wouldn't be about being divided. It would be about those who care about others. Why does politics have to come into play? Who cares about politics? Fellow man means more to me than anything. We could disagree on politics, we could disagree on this and that, but it's that brotherhood. Respecting your fellow human being, that's the only thing that matters most. And just because I'm not seeing too many comments right now, but I know you guys are listening, and that's all that matters to me. That's all that matters. Obviously, this was something else. I'm pretty sure I had moments like this, but I never felt that kind of type of level of passion, and I kind of almost like that when I first broke into that dungeon, and like I kind of don't remember the exact words I just said. I almost kind of blacked out to some degree just now. I just remember said a bunch of things, and I do mean them, but I think we all need some rest. I know I'm physically and emotionally drained. I am possibly going to clip this moment so that way is forever preserved. And I hope the message reaches more and more people. This is what we need to do. You will always be my brother, Liv. Delson, Andy, Josh, if you're lurking. You rank very, very high on that list. Both of you guys, all of you guys. Other people can be in on this as well. Again, you don't have to be the outsider looking in. Some people need to hear it. I'm just the one who just happened to say it. That's all that matters. I honestly don't know how to end this stream, so what can I do after what I just said? But again, Andy, everything that I said, I know that's what your mom wants to do. And she's not here with us. By no means did I take her place, but maybe it's a way that she channeled her thoughts and feelings through me because she knew that you would be listening. If that's what it takes to help, I'll say it to anybody. I don't know what's going to happen in my future. Whatever happens to be. All I know is I'm not going to give up, because if I give up on Andy, I give up on Delson, I give up on everybody. That means I let you down. I'm going to fight my battles, I'm going to take on whatever hits me, and I will persevere. I may not be in the best of shape, but I know I could be strong. And I just wish you guys could be strong alongside me. If there happens to be the day to where I get blinded by God knows what happens in my life, I can try my best to help. That's all that really matters. Again, I really don't know how to end this. So, I think the best way is just to end it. Normally I shout out my subs that help me. Normally, when I get a bunch of support, I try and run something. Andy, I feel like I owe you some credits, but honestly, what can your name show up in credits do for what we just did just now? That's what matters. I don't want money from anybody. But I do know there's some people that feel like they want to go a little bit further. And by all means, I'm not going to tell you no, because you already know. Do I need to tell you to sub? You already know. Who cares? Currencies and governments could fade, but brotherhood stands strong. I love you, Andy. I love you, Delson. Be strong, my friends, as we part ways now. We'll see you again. I'll see you guys again, hopefully, on Wednesday. But even if not, we always have a connection to each other. As long as there's an internet connection, you know where to find me, and I know where to find you. And again, I thank you guys. So, I am gonna just end the stream. I don't think I need to say more. Thanks. Until we meet again, friends. Be strong. This is not goodbye. More like, see you later. Or Wednesday. Bye, everyone. See you guys. Thanks, Delson. I see that message. Thank you. You will always see me there, man. Again, if I never see you guys ever again, whether it be under my own strength or whether or not I don't have an internet connection, I care. Thank you guys. Andy, Delson, thanks. I'll see you guys next time. Born to lose, but we always live to win.